What's up, everyone? Kevin Leslie, and welcome back to another episode of the At the Thousand Training Podcast, solo edition. And today we're going to talk about this idea of getting ready versus staying ready, getting ready versus staying ready. And what sparked this conversation was I've been having a lot of Zooms with current athletes that I work with. They're in the middle of their spring season. And oftentimes, at certain points in the season, coaches are going to throw tests at them, particularly a 2K, right? They're going to throw a random 2K at their athletes, or maybe there's one that's programmed into their calendar that they know about in advance. And what sparked this conversation, getting ready versus staying ready, is the idea that the athletes that, in my opinion, are going to see the most success on those test opportunities that come out throughout the spring season are the ones who are actively staying ready. They're actively staying ready throughout the spring season. And why is that important? Because the erg and the water are different, right? The erg and the water are not the same. The intensity that you're going on the water, the different variables that come into play, maybe some days you're setting the boat for your teammates, right? So they can do drill work. Other days, the weather is so bad, you can barely get the blades in, so you're really struggling to get traction on it. And even just the intensity of the stroke itself, it's not the same as what you experience on the erg. So if the erg is an incredibly valuable piece to our testing protocols throughout the season, it's important to stay ready. It's important to stay engaged with the erg so that when those opportunities come up, you are not now unfamiliar with the intensity of the erg. So the athletes that I work with who are having the most success are the ones who are actively staying ready. They're staying engaged with the erg in a way that allows them to keep the focus on the season, to keep the focus on their team, on racing. But any event that is thrown their way, any test piece that is thrown their way, particularly a 2K, the erg is not unfamiliar to them because throughout the spring season, throughout March, and definitely throughout April, they're actively staying ready on the machine. And my question for a lot of the athletes out there is what's stopping you from finding windows of opportunity in your schedule that allow you to do the same? And by staying ready, again, the bare bones of it to me, you got to be on the erg at least twice a week. You got to be on the erg at least twice a week throughout the spring season. This includes the high intensity, competitive, big race weeks that you have. This includes leading up to championship racing, just staying actively present on the erg at an intensity that doesn't set you back physiologically. It doesn't completely tax you where now you're walking into school half asleep or practice, completely exhausted and not prepared to perform for your team, which is always going to be the priority. But to say we can't carve out windows in our schedule that allow us to do 40 to 60 minutes of low to medium intensity work just to stay active on the machine, to build that base fitness and take control of the variables of our training, of our personal training. Again, I'd question any athlete who says they can't find those pockets within their weekly schedule. What's up, everyone? Kevin Leslie, and quick interruption to the podcast. If you're a high school rower who aspires to take that next step and row at the college level, and you're trying to figure out what is the best path for me, how do I find the best fit academically, athletically, and personally, let's have a conversation about it. Let's set up a Zoom meeting where we can dive into this is what I'm looking for in terms of schools, this is what I'm looking for in terms of rowing programs, and how do we build a plan that can best position you for long-term success. And this can take one of two routes. It can be specifically within recruiting, where we're creating a list of schools, and based off those schools, we're reaching out to coaches. Or you could come to me and say, hey, Kevin, I want to row at this level. I might not be there today, but I want to develop a path that can guide me in that direction and set me up where one day that could be a possibility. And we're going to have that conversation in our Zoom meeting. And right now, throughout the spring season, we're setting up free Zoom meetings for all the podcast listeners using the code SPRINGRACING24. So use that code, set up a meeting, and let's begin to initiate that conversation and get you moving in the right direction. So again, set up a Zoom meeting on my website, racing 24. And let's begin to move you in that direction. Now back to the show. Peace. So again, getting ready is, okay, coach said that we're doing a 2K this Saturday. It's Tuesday. And now I have a couple of days here to get ready for this 2K piece. Right now I'm scrambling. I haven't been on the erg. Maybe we have a 2K prep workout on Wednesday or Thursday to get us ready, right? But is that enough training in an erg specific manner? Is that enough training to truly prepare you to where the machine is no longer unfamiliar to you, when the last 3 weeks you've been nothing but on the water, right? It's been purely on the water training, no erging outside of the random days of inclement weather or as a small warm-up or cool down post-session. Versus the athlete who looks at their calendar, figured out in their weekly calendar, right? These are 6 practice sessions. I have school, I have time with my family, I have commitment to friends and all these other things that go into life. But I know for a fact that I can fit in an erg workout here and an erg workout here and have 90% consistency at holding that routine. That same scenario where the coach says, hey, we have a 2K coming up this Saturday. It's Tuesday, right? Get ready. Those athletes don't have to worry about getting reacclimated to the erg because it's been a key piece to their overall training throughout the entire duration of the season. That's the difference. And again, I think one of the things that we often see is a coach will put a 2K in the calendar. The entire team gets all amped up for it. They're like, oh man, we have a 2K coming up, this and this, right? What are my target splits? I think I can PR, but I'm not too sure. And then they go out in this state of unknown. And yeah, are there anomalies where some kids have really awesome days, right? Because the intensity of the racing seasons really help and guide their training moving forward? Yes. But oftentimes there's also the other side of it where they go out thinking they're here, but they haven't been on the erg in such a long time where quickly, right, 500 meters in, they realize, okay, this is different. The intensity, this first 500 meters on the erg feels way different than that first 500 of our race on Sunday. And that's the difference. The athletes who are constantly staying on the erg, they looked at their weekly profile or their weekly calendar. They said, this day works for me for additional work. This day works for me for additional work. When the opportunity comes where they have a few days to prepare for a 2K, now it's just about reacclimating to a little bit of 2K intensity before they're ready to attack the actual race, which means, okay, maybe now I'm doing in one of those 2 sessions that I have carved out of my schedule, I'm doing 30 to 40 minutes of steady state, but then I'm doing some 250 meter intervals that allow me to get a taste of 2K intensity. They're not doing that throughout the spring season. Those 2 sessions that I'm talking about are more steady state, rate 18 to 22, 18 to 22 splits above 2K, right? My normal protocol for just normal steady state intensity. But because they've stayed acclimated to the machine, because they've stayed ready, once that 2K rolls around, once that coach puts a 2K on the calendar, now they have this base of erg fitness underneath them that has continued to evolve since the winter. And now it's just about adding in a little bit of tempo work to get a feel for 2K intensity. And does that automatically guarantee that you're going to have the PR of all PRs on race day? No. But to me, it surely or best positions you for a big day, because again, you're staying ready. But what I do believe it does is it raises your floor, right? It raises the floor in which you're at least doing mitigation. You're at least prepping yourself enough where even if it's a bad day, the energy's not there because no one's been on the erg and it's just this random 2K thrown into the middle of the season. No one's getting up for it. It's tough. Your teammates aren't excited for it. They're talking down on it and you're getting kind of caught up in that noise. I believe your floor is going to be significantly higher than theirs, where they go out thinking one thing and then it goes the complete opposite direction. You may go out and you may experience like, okay, I haven't done a 2K in a while, right? This is new to me. It's not like the winter. And I feel like I can sustain this for a little bit and maybe give myself a chance for a big fight in that last 1,000 meters. So again, That's the big difference. And I would question any athlete who tells me they can't find 2 windows in their weekly routine where they can't do any additional training, where they can't do any additional erg work. I think look at your calendar, figure out where are the opportunities where I can incorporate the erg into my weekly routine and stay rock solid consistent. And if something comes up and you can't get it in that day, what's the alternative day, right? What's your backup plan? But staying in contact with the erg 2 times per week throughout the spring season, all the way through April, into championship racing season in May. To be honest, in my opinion, throughout the summer, into the fall, then you're back into the winter where you have to be back on the erg. But again, if the erg is that important of a piece to what we do as runners, because it is, if you want to take it to the next level and run in college, there's no getting around it, embrace it, can you be on the erg at least twice a week? Doesn't have to be the craziest intensity, but can you stay ready and stay prepared on the machine, especially at this time during racing season, so that no matter what challenges are thrown your way, you've at least done what you can to raise that floor and best position yourself for an opportunity for success. So hopefully that makes sense. I can ramble on this one all day, but again, stay ready versus get ready, right? We want to stay ready. We want to stay prepared so that we can truly maximize those few opportunities that we get in the spring to put together a max effort piece. And that's the idea here, right? Where are those windows of opportunity where you can truly embrace the stay ready mentality, right? Always staying prepared. So that's all I got. Another episode, solo episode. Hopefully you got some value from it. If you did, please share it with your teammates, share it with your coaches. Hopefully it's an idea that they can wrap their mind around. Maybe they can organize some times for you guys to get some active erg pieces in throughout the week, right? Maybe early in the week so that it doesn't interfere with racing on the weekends. So if this provide value for you, share it with teammates, share it with your coaches. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out, subscribe to a newsletter if you haven't done so already, because I'm going to be sharing information like this throughout the season. Other than that, enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.